Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps. My co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It is great to speak to you again about this Love Island bollocks that we're so fucking wrapped up in. It is blondes versus brunettes in the villa. It's so exciting. And now, I'd normally ask you, where do you want to start today? But I do have to say, I'm sure Erin is pretty much the only person who goes into that diary room because mostly it's her, but she does have some cracking one-liners. And she was saying that she hopes Cassidy, there's a whole load of new blokes come in, and she's just like she was gesturing some hand movements and moving her head from left to right. I didn't recognize what was going on there, Chris. What do you reckon was happening there?
She had a nervous twitch, Dave. I'm not sure, but the
It was like she was sort of doing some arm movement, like flexing the muscles either side. But she had one on the left and one on the right. I couldn't quite figure it out. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this highbrow podcast that we have.
The swattiness just continues.
The cdrealitycast.
You're right. The first time when you corrected me,
I had to do a double take. It's like she just really do that.
Yeah,
I don't think Cassidy's quite like that sort of girl, but it looked like Erin's maybe done that before. But anyway,
I skied and Dave.
Anyway, what do you reckon to the whole fallout of the whole Grant and Tayla couple up? I mean, they are in shit corner with the rest of the villa, aren't they?
They are, but I know Millie actually said, didn't she? She said, I can't defend what they did. Justin called them out, said, I think it was a bit tactile. But if you are going to put your fucking flag in the sand and say, come at me, you motherfuckers, no better way than getting it on, Dave, within 4 hours or whatever it was of being put together as a couple. They were all over each other.
Well, there was no doubt in anyone's mind that Grant definitely stuck his flag in the sand. Several times, I think.
Yeah.
So I come on. I mean, in the last episode, we were on different sides of the fence. I was a bit more Team Cassidy. You were Team Grant and Tayla. After seeing tonight's episode, where do you stand on that?
I'm still the same, Dave. I do think everyone was right what they said. They weren't right what they did. They should have just left it. But however, how long are you going to leave it for? You're going to offend Cassidy anyway.
It's more than a few fucking hours. You don't have to be fucking slapping her on the ass going, who's your daddy? It was obvious because fucking Elias was saying it, Justin was saying it, fucking everyone could hear him banging away. And so I just thought that was a bit fucking off that.
Dave, that's what Love Island's all about.
No, it's brilliant. Brilliant, but off.
Yeah, Erin makes me laugh because she's proper vicious. She was saying once about when the new girl comes in, well, we're going to say to her that you can't go over there because we don't like Grant and we don't like Tayla. Yeah. And there's Millie. And I'm like, you're right, bitch. She's funny with it. But however, I did say the other episode, she just needs to rein it in. I think she's just getting involved in too much shit, isn't she, with different relationships?
Oh, I don't know, though. She's just fucking great entertainment. But the trouble is, Chris, when she's wearing that black bikini, all the time she's trying to make sure her tits don't fall out.
Yeah.
And it is difficult to focus on what is she actually saying because you can see her. She's like leaning to the side and she's like, oh, that one's going to fall out now. And I'm leaning to the side. Oh, that one's going to... Just fucking wear a different bikini, for fuck's sake. It's very distracting. But no, I think she's brilliant, mate. She's just the fucking entertainment of this show. A bit like Maura in UK Season 5. Just gobby, getting involved in everyone else's shit, outspoken. I don't think she should change. I think she's
I don't.
For a show like this, the last thing you want. I see that the US season was like that, wasn't it? Everyone was quite diplomatic, quite quiet, playing the game. There was only that Western, wasn't there, who's stirring the pot a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Erin's playing a blinder. Not necessarily to win it, but I mean, in terms of all the couples, her and Eden are probably about the strongest in there, aren't they? I think
Yeah.
the only sorry, I'll let you speak in a sec. The only thing that will fuck them over is her insecurities.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think though, Dave, just slightly doing a bit of a backstep is if you want to get a couple, a bit horny, who've just got together and that. Don't play a game where she's got her legs wrapped round him while they've got two bananas in the fucking mouths. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. That was Cassidy. She was like a fucking meerkat, wasn't she? Her head was up. She's like, what the fuck's going on? They were rolling around the floor. Then we had everyone else do it. And I've got to say, Dave, I do think this episode, as I have sort of said about Natasha being a bit of a sidekick for Erin, and she's really dropped herself in it, but I did feel sorry for today. I think she's actually been sincere for the first time. She was like, I just want to be with someone. I just want to be with someone like you guys have got. And I think that was completely from the heart. So to be fair, I did sort of backtrack slightly in this episode and feel sorry for the girl.
Yeah, but the bit they edited out was he's got to have his own boat. So, yeah, I mean,
$20 million.
yeah, so everyone feels like that, don't they? Everyone wants to feel wanted, don't they?
Oh God, yeah, of course you do, yeah.
Every single human being. So, no, it's not switched me around on Natasha at all. I mean, it's not nice when you see people being lonely and stuff, and you can see Josh and her are trying to figure out, what this friendship couple, because there's no spark between them, but is this friendship couple going to work actually? And I just hope Josh does better out of it than Charlie did. But no, I wouldn't trust her. But then, Josh, I wouldn't particularly trust him either. I'd said in the past that he's got no shortage of confidence, but I think both him and Justin are really struggling with confidence now, aren't they? Because this is what's brilliant, Chris. These guys are the top 0.1%. They're good looking, they've got great bodies, they look after themselves, with the moisturizing, the face packs, and all that shit. So outside, they just kill it. They go to their local nightclub and they've got girls falling over them. It's just brilliant. I find it hilarious when you've got them in the villa and they just can't fucking get anywhere. So, yeah, that was my
Yeah.
personal enjoyment out of tonight's episode, I gotta say.
What did you think of the new girl, Dave? I thought she's pretty had her head screwed on.
Yeah, so it was interesting, wasn't it? So she picked Elias at first, and definitely, she picked John James second, but I think he is definitely the second choice, isn't he? She's already stalked his Instagram, so she knew what she was getting herself in for there. She's very pretty. She's obviously used to having compliments about her age, so on both dates she was fishing about how old do you think I look, and didn't look particularly happy when John James went 26. Fucking hell, Chris. If he'd have said like, I don't know, 32, I would have fucking pissed at it. But oh dear, I think
Have you,
yeah.
have you ever done that, Dave, though, when someone's asked you, how old do you think I am? And you've said they're older? Because I've had that. People have said it to me. Some say I'm younger, and others are like, you fucking about 45,
I have.
46.
I have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
had
yeah.
it.
And all I'll say to you, Chris, is once. every time since, it's like, danger, Will Robinson. I'm not playing this fucking game. Nope.
Just go like 15 years earlier or something. If you got with someone who looks about 40, it's go, yeah, 25. Yeah, you'd be all right then,
Yeah.
Dave. You know what I mean? I've done that a couple of times, and and now I just like, I don't know. No, I wouldn't like to say because you don't want to hide into nothing if you go over.
Yeah. I think I said like 32 and she was 26. It was like fucking, oh, God, once in the ground to swallow you up. Just doesn't even come close, Chris. Just fucking, oh, God, that's painful memories. Okay, so moving on before you drag up my veteran history. I don't want to remember that. So, anyway, you've proper done me there. I've got I'm having like PTSD flashbacks now. So yeah, guys, if you're out there, don't fucking answer it. It's a trap. It's a trap, as
Star Wars.
Star Wars Admiral Akbar said. Anyway, so sticking on Grant and Cassidy and Taylor and stuff. So 'cause I can't remember if I said it, but Josh, he was pretty gutted, wasn't he? He thought he was quids in, which, to be fair, we've seen from him before.
Yeah, I must admit, Dave, he had a pop at Taylor. Yeah, he's all right to have a pop with her, but he was doing the classic Love Island thing where I couldn't work out whether he was doing it for screen time or not, but they weren't together. They never really kissed other than that little game, did he, where he sort of went in for that kiss because he
Yeah,
wanted to kiss her. It wasn't like they were in bed together kissing or there was any cuddling or anything. So I didn't really get his reaction and I thought he was overreacting, to be honest, thinking, well, you were never a couple. You were never like Cassidy and Grant, where they were pretty much kissing the day of the evictions and then obviously of the recoupling. And so she had a warrant to be like that and feel like that. Well,
yeah,
he didn't. I just didn't. I mean, I don't know about you, but I just felt he was a bit off. And I like Josh because he seems like a good guy, but I just thought he was a bit arsey with her. I think it was more his pride than it was anything else.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think if another girl had come in and he had the opportunity to recouple, he'd have dropped Taylor like a fucking bad smell. So I just think it was more a case if he didn't like it that she'd done it to him.
Again, he's just not used to it, is he? He's sort
No,
of he's used to getting things his own way, and he was just a bit put out, I think. So, and I thought it was decent. So it looks like Grant kind of went over to Josh, to have a word and stuff, and again, he's sort of talking to Grant like he's saying, I did think of you like as a really good mate. He's talking in the past tense, isn't he? And I just think he probably is overreacting a bit. But then, he probably saw his arse, didn't he? He probably thought he was going home when it was down to him and Charlie. And there's nothing. Oh no, it was Charlie and Justin, wasn't it? So I guess out of nowhere, sort of Natasha just picked Josh. But I mean, that was a bit of a hail mary on Natasha's part, wasn't it? She just probably picked anyone that wasn't Charlie.
yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I think as well, it's one of them where when you watch this, like the show unravel and the different sort of, obviously I've seen it. I'm trying to word it, right, but obviously I've seen it, and I know sort of roughly what goes on. But also I'm sort of thinking, well, when they're together and they're like that, it's interesting to see that they evolve as people and change, some for the good, some for the better. I'm going proper over the top now, Dave, and my fucking thinking here. But I just think it's weird that you would get such a reaction out of saying Erin that we all do it, don't we? If someone we know is getting a bit of shit or whatever, you jump on him. I just find it interesting that in the space of 5 or 6 days, these people feel as if they've got bonds for life. And I'm not saying some of them aren't
Yeah,
friends now, but they react as if it's a family member
yeah,
being backed up. You know what I mean? Like, say me and you, we've known each other for 15 years, haven't we, pretty much?
yeah.
So I will back you up, you'll back me up. You know what I mean? We know each other pretty much inside out. But when these people have known each other for 5 or 6 days, it's like, is that just a human instinct, or is it just the fact that because you're in that environment, you feel you've got to react? It's fucking strange.
I don't know. I mean, it is weird. I mean, basically, they're on fucking holiday, aren't they? you know,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the top and tail of it. It is weird. It's not like they've met brothers for life, and they've got all these shared experiences and stuff. They're in a luxury villa, surrounded by lots of hot people. They've got a fucking trial. Oh, not a trial. Thinking like Bush took a trial sort of thing. They've got like a challenge or something every other day or whatever, and that's it. They get to lounge around the pool, do some weights, do a workout, chat a bit. It's
Yeah. That's
fucking
what I
weird, isn't
mean.
it? And it's like, oh mate, I thought you were my best friend. Fuck off. I don't.
That's what I mean.
This time last week, I don't fucking know you. So, what do I owe you exactly? Other than just being a good person. There shouldn't be anything beyond that.
No, I agree. I totally agree. I love it because it's a bit like I've been watching the Big Brother stuff, and you watch Big Brother and you see it like from years ago, and it's utterly ridiculous. Like when you watch it now, the way Nasty Nick went and stuff like that. But when you see these guys, it's just like they're like kindred spirits, aren't they? Like they're going into battle together and that. And we've seen it on, and I know you've not watched all of them, but I've seen it where girls have been best mates on Love Island, guys have. and a girl comes in or a guy comes in, and they drop him, Dave,
Yeah.
and they're like trying to justify it. And I think, well, you're in there to find love. If you're not in there to find love, you're in there to further your career. So you've got to stay as you've either got to be the ultimate bad guy or you've got to be the absolute nice guy. There's no in between with Love Island or anything like that. You've got to be an absolute bastard that people love to hate. And what's the comeuppance that loads are going to vote for him to stay in because they're
Yeah.
loving their antics, or you're going to be a goody two shoes who just goes under the radar. It's just I love watching it as a social experiment. It's so fucking stupid.
It is weird, isn't it? I mean, the rate that they want to couple up, I guess it does just make you question, how authentic it all is. But it's interesting because what you say there is right, and even though I don't think fucking Grant and Taylor should have been so openly banging, like literally as soon as they've coupled up, right? I think it was a bit distasteful, to be honest. But if you're gonna fucking do it, just do it, and so I think, what's her name, Taylor. So I think she comes across like maybe as a bit of a villain of the piece. But I've kind of got to respect her for the fact she's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm here for love, So, and obviously, what they've got now is more lust, isn't it? But
Yes.
she's like, fuck the lot of you, This is what I'm here for. I think I found it, and I'm just going to enjoy myself and focus on that. Fuck the rest here, So you've got to respect her a little bit for that, even though I don't think she's particularly trustworthy. Will she stick with Grant's? Maybe. There's definitely an instant attraction there, isn't there? I guess what is that word they keep using? A bogan. So
I
the
don't know
fact
what
that he
that
comes
means.
across as a bit of a bogan, bit of a chav, then obviously she wants to go for that sort of thing.
That's fair enough, Dave. And I think I was expecting fireworks. It wasn't like that.
No, no.
And there's a big high pitched but there, Dave. We will not be disappointed, my friend. Don't worry throughout this series. There's going to be some Dave Horrocks text messages flying my way.
I must admit, I was a little bit disappointed, I have to say, with this episode because I thought it was all fucking gonna go off. I was like, oh, rubbing my hands. I'm like, this is the moment. This is it. This is what Chris has been talking about. It's all gonna go off, and it didn't really. And Cassidy's obviously still hurting. She's she seems friendly enough with Elias, but there's nothing really gonna happen there. And actually, you know what, Chris? I've completely skipped over. You asked me about the dates. The date with John James and Francoise, right? He looks so fucking uninterested to me.
Yeah.
But when he was speaking to Elias, it sounded like he was interested. Now, again, I don't know whether is that just game playing. I think they both said, oh no, Elias is the one who goes for blondes, isn't he? Um, and John James not so much. But John James was saying, well, it looks like we're both interested in the same people because they've both got an interest in Kim as well. So I don't know where that's going to go, but I think Cassidy's definitely a threat there. I don't think she's going to get over the whole Grant thing. So unless someone new comes in that takes her eye, I think Elias will probably couple up with what's her face, Francoise, and I think John James wants to find out, is it dead in the water with Millie? Because there's
Yeah.
nothing happening with Millie and Justin. There's nothing happening with Justin and anyone, to be honest, despite the fact he thinks he's the best looking bloke in there. But yeah, so I think I think if John James gets the choice, he's going to choose Millie still. So yeah, I'm interested where that goes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's a good point. So, Dave, it's another week. We've blasted off 7 episodes back to back of Love Island, amongst other podcasts. We must have done about 12 podcasts this week.
And it's only the first fucking week.
I know it is. Sick of hearing each other by the end of it. You'd be like, by the second week, you'd be like, fucking, all right,
You
Chris.
know
Yeah,
what, Chris?
whatever.
At
Yeah.
the end of like the 6 week slog, you know me, and to be honest, right, by about week 5 or 6, you're as bad as me off air.
Yes,
But
I am.
but
Yeah.
then when when I'm like, oh thank fuck, you're like, but Dave, in a month or so, there's another fucking Love Island somewhere else that we can cover. So fuck, we've got to fucking get on that. And your enthusiasm, like Phoenix from the flames, just comes from nowhere. Whereas I'm like, if I never see some fucking fake drama by a pool in the villa again, I'll be happy. I'm done. And then obviously by the time it comes around, I'm re-energized and I'm ready to go. But fucking 7 days a week, Chris, this is gonna be a killer. This is going to be have me on my knees and not in the Erin way.
No, no. It's like, well, you know, Dave, that I'm a good salesman, and you're totally right. I think it's like what ladies say when they have a baby, they forget about the pain, Dave. Now, obviously, we're only watching a TV show, but we forget about the hard slog of doing these shows and the
Yeah,
watching, the editing, and everything. And then when we get halfway through, we always have an off-air conversation, and even I start teetering on the edge, don't I? Until there's a
start
bit of
wavering.
drama. Yeah, then there's a bit of drama, like, oh, here we go, here we go. But I think I think possibly it might be better because this will probably be done over 4 weeks, pretty much. 4 weeks and a couple of days change, depending on if they show it continually. But they've done 7 days in a row, so I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah, and I don't know how this is going to go. Obviously, I think with Love Island, the format it doesn't help that it peaks sort of mid-season, does it? You know, you've got all the drama sort of packed in. You know, from let's say week 2 to week 5, and then the last week, all the drama's filtered away. Whoever are the couples, and then they go on these fantastic dates, and obviously it's all quite lovey-dovey, but we fucking love the drama, don't we? So I think that's it. So there's a de-intensifying, if that's a word. I'm
Mm.
pretty sure it's not. So as the show kind of becomes less intense, we kind of our intensity sort of falls off a bit as well, and we're like, oh fucking, oh, the adrenaline is not quite as high, and then we're like, oh fucking hell, are we done yet? And then by the time the final comes around, it's like, all right, that's sort of semi-interesting, how this has gone, but thank fuck this is over.
Yeah, I tell you what I did. I tell you what I did want to pick up on actually is the two things. So I say about we forget stuff, Dave. What is the one game in Love Island that we fucking hate and we have seen 6 times?
I mean, you hate the baby game,
Correct. Is
so
the baby game in this series, David?
is it not?
It fucking well is.
Oh, right, right, okay. So I thought, I mean, come on, the Labour of Love baby game was slightly better though, wasn't it? Put the
Yeah, that was
blokes
good.
through the fucking labour. They should bring that to Love Island.
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Get everyone back. Erin would be, yeah, but Erin would be there on full fucking blast, wouldn't she? Giving everybody a
Oh,
fucking
can you
going over.
imagine, right? If Eden's just like, say you were to give the control to your partner, and Eden's just been playing about in the pool with Millie.
Yeah.
It's like Erin, like you've got these electrodes tied up to, to Eden. There you go. Just see how high do you want to turn it? Fucking
Just
11.
just put your put your finger in water while I do it, Eden. I tell you what though, Dave. Remember we said on series 2, and I know it came out in the press, but Sophie Monk's there, obviously presenting it,
Yeah,
and she didn't know that Grant and Taylor were going to get together. Sophie Monk again, not researching what the fuck she's doing, just turning up and reading an auto cue
yeah.
and
She
taking the
she
money
just
and going.
fucking again. I can't help but respect her a bit. She just like fucking. I'm just gonna turn up. I don't care about all of you senior ex Tuesdays. So
I want my money.
I'm getting paid more than all of you fuckers. Fuck the lawyer.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. That's just fucking. She just looked completely shocked, and I'm pissing myself. Going, that's exactly like season 2, where she didn't even turn up for 2 episodes. She was on holiday with her
She was on
boyfriend, wasn't she?
holiday, wasn't she? And the thing is, like, I can't remember which recoupling it was. Maybe it was that half
Was it
Croatian
Owen?
girl.
Was it not
I
Owen?
can't remember. But she was like, "Oh, well, I didn't see that coming." We've just watched a whole episode where it's
Oh, it was the.
fucking coming, a mile off.
I've just, I put it on by mistake before. I put on episode 7 of Love Island, thinking it was this series. It was series 2. It was That was the episode. It was Cassie and they got together, didn't they? These two girls, and she was like, "Oh
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
god!"
Yeah, that
And
was it,
I've
yeah.
just seen it. I swear to God, I've just seen it at the start of it by mistake because I was like watching, it going, "This isn't series one."
Now,
You know, but
Chris, you have just we are like fucking professionals, right? Only not getting paid, which makes you a professional, right?
yeah,
You teed me up there for something, for a bullet point that I wanted to touch on, because I think we've been pretty critical of the different narrators. So Ian Sterling is a legend, and he just absolutely
yeah,
takes the piss. And we were pretty lukewarm on the guy in the US. I thought he was pretty crap, but then it was all quite. It was shown quite early in the evening, wasn't it, in the US? So there was no swearing, there was no kind of sexual innuendo or anything. And I didn't notice the narrator so much in season two, but this guy, I think, is on point. And I think he said lots of things which genuinely made me sort of chuckle. But I think when Francoise walks into the villa and Kim's in the diary room and says, I just don't know, can you turn lesbian? Is that a thing? And the narrator's just like, yes!
yeah. He just shouted out, didn't he? That was it. No thing. Yeah.
Genuinely had me pissing myself. I think this guy is pretty damn funny. What do you think?
He is actually. I don't think he's as good as Ian Sterling, but he's come out with some corkers, Dave. He really has, and he was on series 2 of this as well, I think.
Yeah, and like I say, I don't remember him quite as much. I remember him being funny than the American guy, but this one he has made me chuckle. I've got to say. So I've seen Ian Sterling for years, so kind of used to his cutting dry humour. I would have to put him top of the tree, but I do think this Irish guy, he's pretty funny as well.
He is, to be fair, he is. So Dave, been a bit of a longer one today. Good episode as well. I've enjoyed that. Good chat. So as always, cdrealitycast on Twitter, cdrealitycast@gmail.com if you want to email us. And also get over to Instagram, same name, cdrealitycast. So Dave, brilliant stuff. I'll see you tomorrow, my friend.
Bye now.